A lot of dead monkeys.
George. Shall I cough on you, George?
Let's just stay ahead of the wind.
Final Flicks.
Hello there, you are listening to another edition of Final Flicks, a podcast where comedians in quarantine examine an end-of-world movie and we see what we can take from it in our own current predicament, which, if you're listening in the future, is the COVID-19 2020 lockdown. Yeah, you've got vaccines and we don't. My name is Matt Jewell. As ever, I will be joined by Victor Petrashkan and Callum Ross. This episode, we are watching Deep Impact, the 1998 movie by Mimi Leder about how the world deals with an asteroid heading to Earth, mainly by starting a lottery, sending a pensioner into space, and using Morgan Freeman to give us bad news in a calm way. This podcast, as ever, contains spoilers, some very naughty language, and some very uninformed opinions which should really be taken with a crater full of irony. This podcast will begin after the bong. I have Victor Petrashkan. Victor?
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show, man. How are you?
I'm very well. Much better for seeing your face. This is the first time we've seen each other's face for a long time.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this self-isolation thing, this wouldn't have been a plus.
No, exactly. No, your giant, your badly lit face is not normally. I'm laughing because Victor looks like a murderer. And so if you are trying to picture who Victor Petrashkan looks like, a deranged Romanian serial killer. Okay, he's waving now. He's forgotten that no one can see him.
What about the native serial killer? We have a serial killer from the northern part of this country.
Me. Oh, okay. I'm fine. But we also have a murderer from the west part of this country, which is Callum. Callum, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm from the West Country. Just killing people, killing time.
Good. Killing people, killing time. This is just a place where we are in terms of recording this. This is the 10th of April, 2020. So we are in week 3 of lockdown. So we're all going a little bit crazy. Callum, what have you been doing to get through the lockdown?
I've been doing exercise.
Masturbating.
Yeah, done 20 sets today. Good times. Yeah, I've been lifting. I've been generally. I know, like, you don't believe me, but I've been lifting weights.
Is that what you call it? A weight?
Mm-hmm. It's a big weight, and it's dirty. And I've been going up and down the stairs quite a lot.
Is that true, or is that a euphemism as well?
It's true, man.
Up and down the stairs at varying speeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get that summer weight for next summer.
Absolutely. Lovely. And Victor, what have you been doing to survive the end of the world?
I just devised a plan earlier today about how not to pay rent this month.
Okay, and how
the secret is to tell the landlord, who's in his late 50s, early 60s, to come and get it if he wants. Right? And as soon as he starts knocking on the door, I start coughing, I start wheezing, and I think it's gonna work. Okay. He won't be able to kick me out. If he wants me out of the house, come and get it, buddy.
What if he's already had the virus? He's got antibodies.
Yeah, but he's old, so he's probably gonna die. I'm counting on that, on him dying, and on the virus existing and not being a hoax. Because otherwise, I'm gonna go with a phone outside his house and start the whole 5G, so he microwaves with the rest of his family. But I don't mind his family. It's just him.
Right. Okay. Because you have to pay him rent.
Yeah. Fuck him.
Yeah. All right. So
nobody's working. No one's earning anything. But the landlord, he just owns the house.
I hate those people who own houses, don't you?
I know. And I'm taking care of his house. I'm a hero. I'm trying to save his ass. So that's why I'm indoors right now. That's why we're all indoors. So we save our landlord's asses.
And pay them rent.
We don't have to. Guys, this is the start of a revolution. Bernie Sanders didn't run for president twice and failed for nothing.
Thankfully, Victor's dated where we are. Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the presidential race. Boris Johnson is recovering from intensive care. And we are doing a podcast about Deep Impact, the 1998 asteroid disaster movie.
What do you think of it, man? What do you think of the film?
Well, I mean, I watched this movie at the cinema about over 20 years ago now, and I remember it was back during the real blockbuster years where every summer had several blockbusters and you looked forward to them. And you look back at it now, and it doesn't really feel like a blockbuster. It feels like some kind of independent student project gone wrong.
I'm surprised that you're alive 20 years ago.
Okay, what you say this every podcast, so
I know it's my ongoing joke.
He's getting catchphrases. He's building.
Unfortunately, everyone's podcast is "Hey, you're alive."
Yeah, unfortunately for Victor, my wife was taken.
Okay,
jokes, guys,
jokes. Callum, what did you think of this movie?
I hated it, man. It was, I just didn't like it. It was boring, I thought. Took ages to get into the exciting stuff. So, yeah, I wasn't a fan, man. But I did see it back in the 90s when I was a kid, and I loved it then.
Yeah.
So,
I think the idea of what a blockbuster has changed so much. I think this movie really highlights. A blockbuster now is like special effects and everything. And this movie seems to be just a load of people talking. About not very interesting things, and that was what a blockbuster used to be. Victor, you were saying that this movie was in development hell for like 25 years.
Yes, that's what I read about it on Wikipedia, and it's probably a piece of information that everyone else can access. But I remember when I saw this film when it premiered in Romania in 2009, just after the economy crashed, and it was just a relief. For everyone caught in the new economic crisis back in Romania, going like, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice to have an asteroid hit us right now?" So I have fond memories of the film. Although now watching it again, I feel like there's about 35 to 40 minutes of good content. Unfortunately, the film is 2 hours long.
When you saw that massive wave coming up, were you jealous of the clean water?
Oh my God!
Your country's never seen it before.
I welcomed it with open arms because the unwashed problem was the armpits.
When you said we were so glad the movie came out, I thought you were going to say we were just glad we weren't a part of this movie. Just put it into.
No, I quite like. I have fond memories of watching the film as a kid. So
yeah, but I've
overlooked the bad parts of it. You know, the whole Tia Leone in it.
I have fond memories of my mum washing my ass when I was a baby. I wouldn't want her to do it now.
You remember that?
Yeah,
that's weird.
I remember being in the bathtub, and being not a bathtub, like the sink, or sort of like a small little bathtub you get for babies. I remember that. Yeah.
Is that something you've been trying to recreate with your partners ever since?
No, just my Edinburgh Fringe shows.
Yeah.
So this is a movie about there's an asteroid heading to Earth. It's about how 3 different types of people deal with it. There's 3 different stories in this. Like you were saying, Victor, it's kind of like it's got some good parts. It's very jumbled. There's 3 different stories. I think, yeah, like you say, it's a bit like a YouTube video that should be a TikTok video. It should be a lot shorter. But there's 3 different stories. There's the Robert Duvall space story. There's the Tia Leone journalism / father-mother suicide story. And then there's the Elijah Wood teenage asteroid finder who marries somebody story. Should we start with the Tia Leone story? I think that's probably the best one to start with. Tia Leone, she plays a journalist who accidentally finds out about, Emily? Or no, Ellie. Ellie, end-of-life entity. And she thinks it's...
Yes, events. Yes, sorry. And she thinks it's someone, president's been or a governor's been sleeping with someone called Ellie, but actually they've been discussing an asteroid, and she accidentally sort of reveals the story of a lifetime. Do we care about Tia Lonia's story at the end of the world, Victor?
No. Just simply, I think her being a bad journalist is a metaphor for her being a bad actress, for being a bad spoiled brat who, come on, her parents, she's 20-something. Her parents got divorced. It happens.
Yeah,
80% of marriages end in divorce, but she can't forget her father. Come on.
Yeah, just for just to go over what Victor's talking about there. So she's angry at her father for marrying someone who's only a bit older than she is. I guess she's probably about 26 to 30 in her character.
You see her mother. Oh my gosh, she's a horrible person. Who wants to hang around with her?
And her mother's kind of there intermittently, but never with anybody else. And her father is trying to reconnect to her. And Tia Leone,
best.
Yeah, and Tia Leone,
right?
And also, why is Tia Leone? Why is her father a Bond villain?
Because I don't know, she looks like a Bond girl, but that's everything about her, man. She's never been good.
Looks like a Bond girl.
Yeah, she's pretty, man.
Pretty. No, but I'm saying
her debut in film was in Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, yeah, because she was David Duchovny's wife from X-Files.
So she's eye candy, but that's it. And she's a really bad actress. That's why she's not acting right now.
That's a fair point. But
I saw a film called Ghost Town, like the Ricky Gervais film.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Is she in that?
Yeah, she's in that, and that film stinks. It's the worst film I've ever seen. So, like, she's in terrible films, I've decided.
She's just, it's a bad, I don't understand why we need to empathize with the person reading the news.
But she wasn't reading the news before. She gets her break because, like, oh, you're the face of the end of the world. Like anybody, like, she's cursed. Every time she reports on something, it goes wrong.
And I feel like she's a horrible person. Like, toward the end of the film, she's waiting for her father in the rain. So that's why I think it's just a horrible character. It's like she's willing to risk her own health just to prove a point of how bad her father is, who was just a little bit late. Just find cover.
Yeah, and also, going back to my point about her being her father looks like a Bond villain. Like, he sounds like a Bond villain. He's just
because he sounds foreign.
Well, he sounds foreign in that James Bond villain kind of way. Not like you. You sound like foreign in that kind of cleaner kind of way.
Like, I'm one of the soldiers, but not one of the generals.
Yeah, he sounds like an art dealer who's got connections to the mob. You know, he's got that kind of like, hello there, darling. Haven't met you for a while. And Mr. Tibbles
for
has
the story, why do you guys think she's there? Because she's not helping the story go forward. She's not doing anything. Like, I understand the human connection you get with Elijah Wood and Lily Sobieski and their family, or with why wasn't the story part of the Robert Duvall's or anyone in the spaceship? Because
anybody
the ones
in the
carrying
world.
us through the story,
or anybody in the world.
Yeah.
You mentioned, there's the whole kind of so her mother commits suicide. We have to infer, which is quite a way. So her mother commits suicide because we don't know why. And then her father wants to reconnect to her. And to be fair, I think her father is clutching at straws somewhat when he's like, "Hey, remember that one time when you were 5 at the beach? That was a good day."
He was working, putting food on her table. That's what fathers do, man. That's what, because I feel like this film came out in the 90s when people discovered that fucking up your children childhoods is gonna fuck them up later on in life. It feels like one of those things like, "Hey guys, have you heard that it's not good to beat your children?" And they go, "What? Let's put that in a movie."
Adam, what was your favourite thing about the Tia Leone story? Leone.
Callum?
My favourite thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was so boring. Probably the scene at the end where she dies.
The scene at the end when she decides, so she gets drawn to go to the sort of bunker. So there's a bunker where some of the people get to go. She gets to go because she's told everybody about the disaster. That's basically why she gets to go. And she puts her former boss onto the helicopter, who was the woman from ER. She's in ER, the other character, isn't she? Yeah, and then she decides to go to the beach where her father was mumbling on about going to the beach years ago. I was thinking at the end, she took a bit of a risk there. What if she got there and her father wasn't there? The father had just decided to get away from the wave.
Just proving him wrong. Just whatever he tries to reconnect with his daughter, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're supposed to empathize with her as a character and care for her and her father. And at the end, I was happy they died. You know what I mean? I'm just happy that the wave came and cleaned up the fucking mess that this film has made.
Okay, so we've got Tia Leone's character, and then also we've got the Elijah Wood story. Elijah
Elijah, man.
Elijah Wood, yeah.
Is it Elijah? I thought it was Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you sure you're telling the truth?
Yeah.
No, it's Aaliyah. You know,
never Elijah.
That's what I was saying. Elijah. You sure? No.
Oh, I got it.
No, it was the girl that R. Kelly used to date when he was.
Yeah. I like the Elijah Wood story. I mean, he discovered the whole thing so he became famous, which it was quite sweet because you could be famous in the 90s for things like that. Now you have to be on TikTok, or you have to have an OnlyFans account, or you have to get your tits out or whatever. So that was quite sweet. It's weird that he got to survive because he was famous, which is kind of like what's happening with coronavirus now. All the famous people are getting tested and the rest of us aren't.
Or they're singing songs from their mansions to us to cheer us up.
Yeah.
What do you think about that scene when he is presented? So, of course, it's all stupid that a child with a child's telescope is going to discover a new comet when there's people looking at the sky, professionals looking at the sky continuously, which is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And also he's like, and what's that constellation called? And then the teacher's like, what's that called? And the guy, also, Elijah was like, no, it's not that. And he's like, oh, I better quickly message my buddy who works in a satellite. And then my buddy who works in a satellite is going to be eating a pizza because he's an everyday guy. And then he's going to stop eating the pizza. And then he's going to jump into a car and drive really fast and crash, even though
recklessly.
Even though he probably could have waited until the next day to tell everybody about the asteroid that's going to hit in a year.
Also, when did this film come out? Because it came out closer to Christmas. I feel like it's telescope companies have made this film for propaganda for people to buy their kids telescopes for Christmas. They're like, yeah, I'm going to discover a comet and then save the world and get laid, which is a weird thing as well. Also, friends like, you're going to get so much puss now.
That's it. The school meeting. And also, I love the shot of his parents looking around proudly going, yeah, he is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's going to be a little Weinstein.
Yeah. But also...
Kevin Spacey, if you want.
Or Morgan Freeman, who's in this movie.
But yeah, it's very ridiculous, man. But when it comes to Elijah Wood's story, it's Lily Sobieski. I had such a crush on Lily Sobieski as a child.
And now?
Oh my God. Now she's a bit weird because she stopped making films and she paints. Which I'm like, who do you think you are?
An artist?
Who do these actors think they are? They start painting. It's her and Jim Carrey. And you look at the paintings and you go my 5-year-old could do that.
You don't have a 5-year-old.
But if I would, oh my God,
you're
imagining left and right.
Your imaginary 5-year-old can paint better than a child actress from the 90s.
But didn't you guys have a crush on Lily Sobieski?
No, I had a crush on the girl who plays Lex in Jurassic Park. I don't know, in Jurassic Park, the teenage girl in Jurassic Park, I had a crush on her. I just want to be honest. I was also a teenager at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But you still fancy her as a teenager now, though, right, Matt?
No, that's Victor, who's just Googled her and went, oh. So Victor's now going to get in trouble. What's her name?
Matt's going to fail his DBS check.
I don't even know if I know who I'm talking about. I just went, ooh, because I saw Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's hot.
Jeff Goldblum is hot. My favorite scene in any movie is there's a Woody Allen movie. I remember which one is, where Jeff Goldblum's first part in it is he's at a house party in California, and he just comes into view out of nowhere, picks up the phone and goes, "Hello, is that my psychiatrist? I forgot my mantra." And that's it's a wonderful scene. It's a brilliant scene. I think it's Jeff Goldblum's first screen time ever, and he's in it for like a second, and it makes the whole movie. But Woody Allen has brought the tone down again. Also, Elijah Wood, it's quite a creepy marriage proposal, don't you think? He's kind of like, hey, do you want to marry me? And then we could have sex and you could survive and your family. It's a bit of blackmail there.
Would you take it?
Yeah. I mean,
Callum, would you let yourself be saved by Elijah Wood?
Would you let him take your ring?
I'm gonna die. I'm not being funny. I would fucking let him ruin me if he saved my life. I would open up my asshole and just go, Elijah, get in there, man. I don't care. Save my life.
You'd let him drop his ring into your volcano.
I would, yeah.
Fair enough. You turned up. It's like, here's my helper, Sam.
Like both of you hobbits, get in there.
You let them come into Mordor?
Yeah, I let them call my hold the precious one. I wouldn't give a fuck, man. It'd be all.
You'd let them make you a Saruman.
Yeah.
That whole story, man, is just ridiculous. That a child gets to, and everyone cares.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest problem with most of this movie. It's most of the people you're following, you don't care about them. You know, like they're both because Tia Leone's from obviously a ridiculously wealthy family, and she's a journalist and lives quite a high lifestyle. And you've got this quite sort of like well-to-do middle class kind of storyline with the two families and their kid, sort of virtuous children. And there's no grey areas, you know. Everyone makes grand, glorious sacrifices and looks into the camera or the distance while they're doing it. And you just want to see real people. You want to see people looting. You want to see people going crazy. You know, you want to see real people.
But they are doing that because she does present that in the world is going a little bit crazy. Because there is a deadline. What really makes me wonder in this film is no wonder Donald Trump became the president of the United States. You have the worst people in the most stressful jobs. So who's in charge of finding life-threatening asteroids coming to Earth? High school teenagers. Unlimited has been upgraded by the host. All right.
Okay, yeah.
Who is the news anchor presenting the end of the world? Just this lady who started yesterday. However, so many other better equipped, better prepared people. Yet this lady, because she's blonde, it's like, I know the reason why MSNBC agreed to do this is because CNN turned it down. and MSNBC was a new channel at the time, so they wanted a bit of publicity with this film, so that's why they agreed to do it. But it all looks like it's Fox News. Fox News is full of like pretty underqualified blonde ladies reading the news.
And
You know what I mean?
plenty of old, ugly, underqualified men as well.
Yeah, forget Walter Cronkite. Get this blonde who started yesterday.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's
Oprah could have presented it. All right, because it's like we're not replacing women with men. Okay, another lady. Put another lady who the red-haired lady who the whole film ignores, and she's looking at this blonde bimbo, going like, "What the fuck are you doing? How did you get?" She's been struggling to get that job.
She's a mother. She's a mother. Yeah.
Yeah. But we ignore her because she's a redhead.
But like how we spoke about an Outbreak, it seems to me 90s movies seem to like want you to connect with assholes. You know what I mean? Like this person's an asshole, connect to them. Whereas, you know, we were supposed to sort of be on Tia Leone's side over the redhead, hard-working woman with a child who's been there for years, who probably deserves to be the anchor or whatever. And we're supposed to think
the film had in mind that we're gonna like Tia Leone and we're gonna go like, that's me, I do that.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be the conduit, isn't she? She's supposed to be the one that she is because she's the bear at the beginning and the end. Really, she is the one who is. She's the eyes of the audience. She's the one that we're supposed to be actually experiencing the movie through. Whereas we kind of observe.
Matt,
have you lost me?
Repeat again.
A little bit.
Did you lose me?
Yeah, but now you're back.
Oh, no, I'm back. Doesn't matter. I'll move on. From Tia Leone. And then, doesn't it make you wish that Morgan Freeman was the president, though?
Yeah, it was great, man. Apart from Victor wouldn't, because he was like, we will all still pay all our bills. I was like, oh no, there's no dodging the landlord now, Victor.
That's what I like about him. He's like, there'll be no profiteering. There'll be no looting. We will all pay our bills. And you're like, wow, brilliant. Great stuff.
It's nice that they thought of that, the screenwriters.
Yeah.
As a little detail for making it a bit real. I do think that Morgan Freeman would be good because that's what presidents are. They're just a face that we trust and calm people, right?
Yeah, which is why Donald Trump is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, imagine learning any news from Donald Trump. You wouldn't trust it, would you? You know?
We're finding that out every day.
Yeah, so, Donald Trump is, not...
No, I love Trump, personally. No, I'm just joking. I'm trying to mix it up.
But don't you feel like Morgan Freeman probably shot all his scenes in a day?
Yeah, he got paid loads for it as well. But you're right.
And he just does a job that's so good that he's remembered as one of the best presidents in movie history.
Well, I mean, he does also play Nelson Mandela in the movie, so that might be why.
Yeah, but
also he was doing he shot in a day because he was wearing the same costume because he was shooting 10 other president films that day too. It's like wait, which president? Oh, you're the president where the world's going to end. Oh, cool. But which one? Or the comet one? All right, cool. Let's do it.
Right? He's fantastic, man.
I think
he's great.
I think all presidents in 90s movies are pretty good. You know, there's Bill Pullman in Independence Day, and they're all the kind of Harrison Ford in Air Force One. You know, What? You don't like Harrison Ford in Air Force One? I don't like
Harrison Ford. I think Harrison Ford is one of the worst actors. He's Tia Leone in male form.
No, he's Han Solo.
Are you serious?
Oh my God. Harrison Ford is one of the worst actors that I've ever seen in my life. He's the luckiest man in the world. My God, there's any actor is better than Harrison Ford.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill was great. Mark Hamill was great. You heard of his voice.
Mark Hamill. He does Joker, man.
Yeah, he does Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah, Mark Hamill was great.
I think Harrison Ford is
Mark Hamill. Harrison Ford is just a lucky guy.
Yeah, but about Donald Trump playing Donald Trump, you can't even do that. So Donald Trump's worse than Harrison Ford.
Yeah, you know what? AIDS is worse than Harrison Ford. Yeah, you proved the point, man.
Anyway, so Morgan
going back
Freeman
to the president. It's fantastic, right? It's the only good thing in the film. Consistently good.
Yeah. Well, actually, moving on. I think I really do like the Robert Duvall story. I like the Robert Duvall, the astronaut.
He's old, man. It's not believable. He looks like he's a grandfather. It's the other guy's grandfather. It just doesn't logically work.
Well, they do deal with that in the story because they have they kind of meet at the so the plan is to go and blow up the asteroid with one nuclear bomb, which doesn't seem to be the best idea in the world. And we meet them at the barbecue. There's always a barbecue in the 90s, isn't there? All army or film, they always have to have a barbecue where someone, no one's on the barbecue, but everyone's talking. They're all in someone's house. I don't know whose house.
So we know they sometimes take it easy.
Yeah,
they're just not shooting Middle Eastern children in the face.
Exactly, they're shooting the shit. You're supposed to identify them before they die. It's basically the scene where you go, which one's going to die? Which one's going to die?
But you don't know. I really like the fact that
that's true.
Jon Favreau dies.
Yeah, Jon Favreau does, isn't he? Yeah, he's looking very thin in this movie as well. Jon Favreau.
He was young.
Yeah, he hadn't done any cocaine.
Robert Duvall. What do you think, Alan? Do you think, because you've seen a lot of films in your life, do you think it's believable that Robert Duvall would go to the moon just because he did it a long time ago?
What about it's believable in this crazy film where Morgan Freeman is president and all, the black president in the 90s. Anything could happen, Victor.
Yeah.
But it's as stupid as Armageddon, where the guys who get to go on the space shuttle are minors. It's like, you don't just get random people or old people on a space shuttle.
But he's not. He is the only person alive to have or he's the last person to have piloted down to the moon. So they give it some kind of justification.
But he did that in the 70s.
Yeah, but this is the 90s. It's not that long ago. In the 90s.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that long ago.
Muhammad Ali used to box in 20 years ago as well.
No, he didn't.
He's dead.
He didn't box 20 years ago. He boxed in the 70s.
No, but you know what I mean? Like 20 years from the Rumble in the Jungle. Ask Muhammad Ali to box again. Just because he did
You don't know he didn't box 20 years ago. You don't know he's part of some secret Parkinson's league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a man who always disapproved. That's why he shook his head so many times. He was like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
It's like Dementia Squad. Got a ragtag team of people who don't remember who they are to go and save the world. This
whole team of savvy people. There's a stereotypical Russian guy in there.
Yeah. Well, it's the same in Armageddon as well. It's very comparable. Yeah. Armageddon has another savvy Russian guy as well. Peter Stormare plays him.
If we're here already comparing them, which one do you think is best? Do you think Deep Space Nine that we just watched is better than Armageddon?
Deep Space Nine.
You said Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, you leave the best Star Trek series ever out of this. But no, I think objectively, the question is which is the more entertaining movie. Armageddon is the more entertaining movie because at least it does one thing and it does it quite well. It sticks to the idea. It has a preposterous thing, but it doesn't bother about that. It just kind of gets on with it, and and the cast in Armageddon is incredible when you think about it. You've got Bruce Willis, Steve Buscemi, Will Patton, Billy Bob Thornton, Michael Clarke Duncan. These are incredible.
And what does this film have? Fred from That 70s Show.
Yeah, you've got Robert Duvall. You've got the boring one from The Godfather.
Yeah.
It does seem to me that they stuck Robert Duvall's name on this very similar to Morgan Freeman to make it plausible. This is a heavyweight actor. he's on it, believe it. It doesn't quite work. You're right, but I think it's quite a good story. I think it's quite. My girlfriend, she cried when they sacrificed themselves at the end. So that was.
I remember as a kid, I really liked this film because nothing worked in the things that they were trying. It felt believable at the time because every other film, especially American, everything was working. They would, figure it out, which they do in the end. But they run into with the rocket. They run into the asteroid about 3 minutes before the film ends. So the entirety of the film, you're like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And the asteroid does hit, calling, the smaller part of the asteroid.
We're a part of it.
Yeah, but it does cause, in the grand scheme of the world, it would have caused a lot of damage. It probably would have set us back a few years as a civilization, that kind of damage, What I also like about, what I like about the movie is, like you say, nothing works. I also like that whole idea of, like, Morgan Freeman keeps saying, like, it's going to be okay, we're quite sure it's going to be shot out of the sky. But you'd never really believe in it. It kind of taught me when I was younger, don't believe what people are saying,
This film taught you something about life?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, because Armageddon taught me if the world's going to end, we will just get some ramshackle drillers to save the world, And
real baby drill.
Real baby drill, yeah. And some of them are pedophiles. Steve Buscemi plays a pedophile because there's a joke where he's like, tell them that she told me she was 18. There's that literal scene. So it told me that either we don't believe what they're telling us, or we're going to get the worst people in the world to save us.
Here's something that I quite like. I feel like this whole like thing's not working. I remember it very fondly. It just doesn't really work right now because I've seen the film probably 3-4 times, and I don't know. But this is what I wanted to feel when I watched Interstellar. It does manage to kind of keep you on the edge of about like, are they really all gonna die? You know what I mean? Okay. It's something that this film does manage to do right. The tense, the fact that you're just waiting for Tia Leone's bit to finish. So you go, okay, is there more action? Is there more interesting things? Because it feels like Tia Leone is like the Pitbull of the film. Pitbull, the rapper?
Okay. Oh, okay. So
she's really awful at remixes.
No, she's like, you look at her and you go like, I hope this bit is gonna end soon. And the rest of the thing is gonna continue.
Is that because Pitbull was one of those rappers, or is there like a melodic chorus when you hear his rapping, and then in the chorus there's always somebody singing nicely?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was even worse than that.
Okay. Because that was I don't know. I stopped listening to popular music about the time when there was one type of music, which was there was somebody with a nice voice, female singing, and a rapper being quite horrible over the top of them. It'd be like, oh, we should be together. We're all good together. And at the back, there's a rapper going, yeah, bitch, shove it in the ass.
Nothing's changed. What kind of music
do you listen to?
Popular music, man, Oh, the world should come together. Yeah, bitch, in my face. Do you remember that music?
Yeah, bitch in my face. I think that's Chris Rock bit.
Is it?
Fuck her in the eye. Fuck her in the eye. Blind the bitch. Blind the bitch.
That's Little John and the East Side Boys.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Here's another question that I have for you guys, especially Matt, since you like Robert Duvall's character so much. May I remind you that his name is Spurgeon Tanner.
Yeah.
Spurgeon. And they call him Fish because Spurgeon kind of sounds like sturgeon.
Yeah, and that's his thing. He's like, they call me Fishy because Fish because my name's Spurgeon. It's like sturgeon. Yeah, it's a good point. Who would come up with that nickname?
I don't know. The Prime Minister of Scotland?
Oh, Nicola Sturgeon. Yeah, okay. I think his name sounds a bit more like sperm. I think you'd be called Spermy. I would call him.
Yeah, in the army, really, they vote for the intellectual.
Yeah, exactly. You're telling me about like Spermy. Hey, Spermy. Here comes Spermy. He's coming again fast.
All spermy, all dry, crusty spermy.
Yeah. I think it's one of those nicknames that he's made up. You know, when people are like, "Oh, they just call me Fish." Like, no, they fucking don't, mate. They call you Spermy. You decided to rebrand yourself. I'm Fish.
So, by the end, what do you guys think about the final solution?
That's a different podcast.
Not that one. Not the old final solution. The solution at the end of the film.
I think it was a terrible idea, of course. What my worry about the end is that, because at the end, Robert Duvall, so they're kind of like coming back to Earth, and they're all kind of dejected and defeated in their kind of spaceship, and one of them's blind, and one, you know, the Russian guy's not so larger than life anymore, and then they kind of get back and they kind of make contact with NASA, and it's quite interesting because NASA have just been sitting around the whole time doing nothing. And what have NASA been doing? What have NASA been doing? Like, it's like they've lost contact with Robert Duvall for like 10 months. They could have sent someone else up to do the same thing, surely.
It's not SpaceX. SpaceX. That's why Elon Musk didn't leave at the time. See, this is something that these apocalyptic films didn't foresee. The internet, like people talking and messaging all the time and filming everything. And Elon Musk, there's no Elon Musk here. We have Elon. What is Elon Musk doing actually nowadays with this coronavirus? Is he fighting the coronavirus?
He was trying to come up with a ventilator, wasn't he?
A ventilator?
I mean, we've already made ventilators. He has to make the same one. Adam, are you okay? You're
Dyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up with a what?
Like Dyson.
You know, Dyson was as well, yeah. But Dyson was trying to put his own label on it. So I saw other companies like doing it, just like the F1 team did it, and they just made a blank one. But when Dyson did it, he wanted like Dyson all over it. So it's just like, I also want my name to be, everyone to know that I did this. And it felt really like he's just trying to sell some Hoovers.
Fair enough. Yeah, I also like how our government in Britain, we rejected a load of ventilators from the EU because Dyson was going to make some at some point. It's like, hey, do you want some ventilators? And we're like, no, that's all right. Dyson's got it. When? Oh, he's doing something. I mean, EU's like, yeah, but Dyson sucks.
Yes. I don't think I have anything else to say about Deep Impact. So one other thing. What I've noticed is there's a scene, a close-up of Robert Duvall's hands, and he has one of those creepy pinky rings.
No,
that people who were involved in the mob used to have.
Oh yeah.
He has one of those disgusting pinky rings. You know, the old men pinky rings that they never take off, not even for a role in a major Hollywood blockbuster.
Okay, right, yeah. So he's a mobster. He's a mobster.
I don't know. I just don't like him. I find jewelry like stupid, especially like jewelry that's so important for the guy that he won't take it off for the film. I'm like, just.
Well, I think that he's got a great name. So he's got a really, really, really great name. So I think that's going for him. What can we learn from his movie about surviving the apocalypse?
Well, I'm no Jerry Steinberg.
Your hand is on the mic, Cal.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah.
Your hand was on the mic.
Sorry.
It's just the pudgy fingers that Callum Ross has.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm no Jerry Steinberg. I love, I'm not into films that much. But I feel like what I've learned is if I was ever going to make a film, I would get to the fucking exciting bits earlier. Do you know what I mean? Like, it should have started with the disaster bit more earlier. Get me into it. How they're going to survive it. It was too much talking. There's too much dialogue. I didn't care about the characters enough. They're all boring. I didn't give a fuck if Elijah Wood died or not. Tio, I didn't care if he died or not. Just Deval, I didn't care if he died or not. Just get to the exciting bits. It's a disaster movie. Do you know what I mean?
But he saved the world, Deval. He did very well.
So that's what did you learn?
That's what I've learned. I would, if I was to do it myself, I'd make it quicker.
Fair enough. I learned to not live near the Atlantic. That's basically it, isn't it? If you live the tidal wave from the asteroid comes from the Atlantic, so presumably we'd be taken out over in the UK, New York. It's taken out. What I also like about this movie is everything's so American-centric. So the first asteroid has to hit near America, so America suffers from it. Fingers crossed, Victor's crosses it. And the second asteroid, obviously someone's gone, look, we can't have the second one hit in the States as well. That would be mental. Does anyone else know a country? I mean, someone's like, yeah, how about Canada? But that's it. That's the variety they brought in geographically is Canada. They're like, okay, the second...
it's like Leicester cheese and a red Leicester cheese.
Exactly right, yeah. There is no Leicester cheese. There's only red Leicester. Is that weird to you?
Okay, we're digressing, Matt.
There's no original. Also, I've also learned how to be a journalist. So what happens if you're in the media room and you learn about the end of the world? You've got to shout weird things into the ether, and then people will give you what you want. Because there's that scene where they learn about the end of the world through the press conference with Tia Leone, and then they're all like shouting weird stuff. And one of them's like, "Graphics! I need graphics!" Yeah. And then there's a woman on the phone going, "Does anybody know how big the one that killed the dinosaurs was?"
Uh-huh.
I just really wanted me to be a journalist, just so I could shout weird stuff into, Donald Trump comes on, orange fake tan, where did they get it from? Just shout weird things into the ether. That's what it's taught me. What about you, Victor?
What I've learned from this film,
yeah,
that's it's all right to tell a broad that the end is coming and she should marry you. And her whole family should be thankful that you're considering them to come with you. It's like, oh yeah, the parents were totally fine with giving up their daughter.
Well, I would be
to this kid that saw a thing in the sky.
But also, she saw it as well.
Oh yeah, she was there too.
Yeah, she saw it as well, but he got the credit because he's a man. And everybody accepts that.
Yeah, but she didn't know what she was talking about, did she?
Well, neither does he. I mean, if we go back to the Elijah Wood, how does he survive?
Elijah
Wood, thank you. Callum's our resident name pronouncer. So thank you for that, Callum. But the annoying thing about that whole story is they just keep declining safety. So they get offered to live in the bunker, and then they turn it down like 3 times. And then,
she could have come with him, but she doesn't want to. Later on, half an hour later, when he comes back, yeah, that's when she's gonna leave.
Yeah, when they're like running away from a 100-foot tidal wave on a moped.
Yeah, and they're the only ones in traffic that can figure out how to swerve around other cars.
Yeah,
like,
also,
there's no one in that whole backlog of cars that figures out, like, if I go in between the other cars, I might go ahead.
Or it's the end of the world. Get off of the roads. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking get your Volvo through the forest.
I think they were just going to the supermarket getting toilet paper because that's what you should do. Yeah,
that's the queue outside Lidl.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, because her parents like sacrificed themselves then, but not earlier when she could have gone in a bunker. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And all the parents, like Elijah Wood's parents, they go like, "Yes, son, we understand. Yeah, go back for that girl that you met 3 weeks ago and married." Yeah, for no reason other than just to save her. Yeah, you save your life to go and run after the stupid one.
But then they go in the bunker. What I love about them, they're like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll go in the bunker. But also there's an editing issue where, because Elijah Wood and the girl, they're kind of on the moped, and they're going up a hill. Loads of people running away from the tidal wave. So luckily they're at a point where the tidal wave doesn't quite come high enough to go a little bit higher up on the hill. But also after it does that, they kind of look up at the hill and kind of go, "Oh, we're safe now." But to them, they wouldn't know that the other asteroid had been stopped. They wouldn't know that.
Yeah, they see it in the sky that it just blows up.
I don't think. I don't think.
No, that's actually covered by the narrative of the film.
Oh,
you can see like, because it's like not an aurora, it's like a meteor shower.
Okay. Like
they see it in the sky exploding, and then later on, after that, you can hear the narrator, which is Morgan Freeman.
Okay. And then they're standing at the end. They're standing outside the White House. That's quite a cool scene with the White House kind of destroyed.
Reminded me of another Morgan Freeman film where he stands outside the White House. Was it like what was that?
White House Down?
No.
White House Down. Was he in that? Yeah.
Is he in White House Down?
Yeah, I think so.
Is he?
Was he in what other films was he in when he's a president?
Bruce Almighty?
Well, he's God.
Oh my God! What do you?
I feel like there's another film where he's a president. It is White House Down. Yeah.
Okay, so White House Down. Yeah, okay, I haven't seen that movie. That's
so being God is not good enough to be president.
In God and Morgan Freeman, we trust. It's the same person, you prick. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. So the movie, the movie is okay. It's a fine movie. It's very, very 90s.
Very American.
Very American. Yeah, exactly. What was EU doing at this point? What was China doing at this point? You know?
Dying?
No, China's
making the DVDs that will end up on this film will end up on.
But that's the same with Outbreak. We watched Outbreak. That was so like, oh, it's all about America surviving. There's nothing about the rest of the world other than they were the ones that caused the disease.
Right, and so
this film is very xenophobic, man. It's they don't care about anyone else. I'm surprised they didn't blame the comet on Japan or something.
Well, I mean, are you saying the States started the comet? Is that what you're saying? It was engineered in a lab, and it was released by the United States.
You should call it the American virus.
The American virus, yeah. It's just a big, large rock heading towards you, like anybody like a Weinstein victim.
Formerly known as Dwayne Johnson.
If that movie was made now, Dwayne Johnson would be in that movie.
Yeah, he'd be the president, he'd be Tia Leone, he'd be Elijah Wood, he'd be everybody.
For an action movie, very little happens in it. It's quite weird to think of it as a blockbuster, because it was a blockbuster.
It's tense, man. It's very tense. It's the build-up.
Also, how badly do the special effects hold up? Like that's
really bad.
Like that scene when the asteroid when the spaceship comes in behind the asteroid, it looks like someone's holding up like a model of an asteroid and a little spaceship on a black screen. It really looks terrible.
Yeah.
It really.
The wave was all right though.
The wave was good. I was going to put all their money because they couldn't afford like Gillian Anderson or a good actress.
I understand from reading about the film. I understand they couldn't afford doing the other countries' videos as well, so they couldn't film in France, French people with the berets and baguettes because it would have been too expensive.
I mean, have you ever bought a baguette in Paris? Very expensive. Yeah.
Oh my God! I bought a baguette in Tesco, and I don't want. It made me not want to go to Paris.
Fair enough. Yeah, it would be nice to have that sort of a scene. It reminds me a bit of the end of Independence Day when you see all the other different countries. If the British people in some kind of African country go ahead, it's the Americans. Got a plan. Well, bloody well timed. That is a great scene in a better movie, shall we say? Okay,
I think that's the film.
That's kind of it, yeah. That's kind of it. So we're going to be watching another movie next time. What will we be watching next time? Any ideas?
I'd recommend Contagion.
Yes.
Contagion.
It's
on Netflix. It's made by Steven Soderbergh.
Contagione.
Is it Contagion?
Contagione.
So.
Contagione. Contagione.
What?
Interstellar?
No, a Contagion, because I would like to see a movie I haven't watched.
Have you seen Contagious, Calvin? Yeah, I've seen it when it came out.
Okay, it's on Netflix, yeah?
It's all right. Yeah, it's a decent film.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Right.
It's on Netflix.
Finally look after the legally stream, guys.
Yeah, or rent from Amazon Prime. Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3 movies.
1, 2, 3 movies. Okay, we've just we'll edit that out. Probably not. So thank you very much for. That's the end of the world.
Fell off his bed.
Yeah, Alan's falling off the bed. It's the end of the world. And we will be back as soon as we possibly can. We're going absolutely crazy. So we'll be back next time with Contagione.
Fatality.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for listening to Final Flicks. If you've enjoyed our nonsense, the next episode up would be The Happening, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which is a favourite of mine for maybe some of the wrong reasons. So if you've seen that movie, you want to see that movie, that'll be up next. If you've enjoyed our nonsense, then please subscribe or leave a review, or just more importantly, let people know, share it. It really makes all the difference. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Final Flicks. Or you can email us at finalflicks.com if you have any, finalflicks@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, anything that you think we should watch, or, any criticism or anything, any contact at all. It's nice to hear from people in these times. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Outstanding.